Hi, I'm Astrologer Penny Dix. Welcome to all of you. It's so lovely to see so many of you here. Oh God, I love doing these. I'm so excited. I'm just I'm completely uncontainable. I want to say a special hello to Andy, to Jem, to Mimi, and I want to say a special hello to Janice and who's listening in the car. And I want to say a special hello to Andy's kids because they seem to be the youngest members of the Soul Fam, and you guys are so welcome. And I'm just so glad you're here too. So, who have we got? Maria, hi. My cat at the moment is doing acrobatics over on the problem is I forgot to feed them before I started. So they're getting very, very hungry. Ruby's straight up baby astrologer. Whoa. What star sign is she? Let me know, Andy, because that'll help me understand whether she's going to find it easy or more easy. So, but how are you all? Because I don't know what we have in this part of the world, and I don't know whether you have it in America or Canada, but she's Taurus, Sun, Pisces, rising. Of course, she's going to be an astrologer. Of course, she is. Of course, she is. Oh, I forgot to. Yes, never mind. Yes, we are at the start of Carnival, and I know they have Carnival down in Mexico because that's kind of famous, and also, of course, Brazil. And we have Carnival here in Gozo. Gozo is one of the carnival centers of Europe, and the village that is the next village to where I'm living is the kind of hub of the carnival. So most people, like myself, don't go out at all during Carnival or anywhere near anything. All the shops have been stripped bare. There is nothing on any single shelf because they all pile into Gozo and rape and pillage us. Neptune in her first. Oh, yes. Yes, she is going to be an astrologer. Ruby. Hi, Ruby. Yes, I will guide you. Don't worry. I will be your mentor. Sunny Florida. Lovely. So, what I want to say is the energy over the last couple of days has been a little bit tense. Has anyone else had that experience? I've experienced highs and lows of emotion, sort of almost like I'm bipolar, which I'm not, but it's been really extraordinary, sort of highs of, hey, everything's absolutely wonderful, to, oh my God, everything is so terrible and I hate the world and I hate myself. So there's been a lot of that kind of energy. Don't ask. You're going through a forced detox. Oh my God. Oh my God. And Mimi, you've been stressed. Tension, Judith, past and present, ups and downs as well for Gay and shifting energy, Susan. Carol asked your pendulum if it was the astrology and was a yes. And oh, gosh, yes. So this week is actually going to be quite a tricky week, interesting week. I'm just trying to come back down to earth because this afternoon I recorded or pre-recorded the next in the series of the outer planets. And I've done Pluto, which some of you might have seen. If you haven't, check out Pluto in 2024. And remember, I go through each of your individual zodiac signs, all time stamped by the wonderful, inimitable Jerry of Team Penny. Inimitable. That was the word I was searching for. And anyway, today I did Uranus. And I'm still on a kind of an electrical high because I had no idea there is so much to say about Uranus. So, and I still didn't say everything that I could say. But when that comes out should be first thing February the 18th, it is, I've done all your zodiac signs. So again, they'll be time-stamped by the inimitable Jerry. And also, it's long. It's almost 2 hours. So you'll excuse me if I'm a little bit kind of spaced out, because I allowed myself about an hour between finishing that to getting ready for this. But luckily, all the listen, I just love doing it, Carol. You can't stop me. You can't keep me back. I want to do it. I love it. And oh, thank you, Flora. Oh, bless you. I'm a little tired now, but and I have got sneaky whiskey on the table, but I won't do it because we have youngsters under the age of under the drinking age, so they mustn't see me drinking whiskey. Anyway, let's talk about today, because today I think the energy is, we're now getting used to this energy of Pluto in Aquarius. Remember, Pluto is our planet of transformation, and we have never experienced, apart from last year, Pluto in Aquarius. Now, what is so super interesting about the month of February is that we would experience 3 particular transits that none of us have ever experienced in any of our lifetimes. First of all, on Monday, we would experience Mercury conjunct Pluto in Aquarius, but I'll come to that in a minute. Then in subsequent weeks, we're going to get Venus conjunct Pluto and Mars conjunct Pluto. That potentially could be a tricky one. But today, the moon is in Sagittarius, waning crescent. So remember, we're moving towards the new moon, which is this Friday. So yes, the new moon is coming up because you've got lots of energy 1 minute, then just want to sit down. Yes, I'm trying to kind of get my energy going again, because I'm kind of like, yes, hey, here we go. Let's do this. So let's do this then. Let's do this. Moon in Sagittarius, that should be firing us all up today, because Sagittarius, as we know, is all about, flying, in a sense, that flight, that kind of reaching for the heady heights of Jupiter energy. And it's just good energy. It's better today than it was yesterday. And I have to say, because yesterday I just had, those days where you go, oh, it's not fair. Nobody loves me. Nobody understands me. Oh, I've got so many things. Everything's wrong. One of those days, which was complete load of rubbish, because I've got plenty of people that love me, care about me, apart from all of you lovely people. So I don't really know what my problem was, but yesterday I clearly had a problem. And it's like when we regress into a child part of ourself, and I think what actually happened was I took on some projections from others who were also struggling. And so I was holding back on saying how I felt, because I didn't want to burden them with any down or difficult energy. And so then, of course, what happens is I'm carrying the lot. And that is really probably what happened to me yesterday. It lifted as the day went. So, that's how it goes. That's how it rock and rolls, babies. Let's move on to Monday, because today is actually, even if it's just morning for you, it's a fairly relaxed day with the moon in Sagittarius. It should be fun, because Sagittarius is a fun sign. It's ruled by Jupiter, so it's about excitement and travel of the mind and travel. I'm just reading what some of you are saying. You find it hard, Shirley, with other people's energy. Yeah. And you see, when we are sensitive and basically empaths, because I'm assuming that anyone that watches this is going to be an empath to a sort of greater or lesser extent. So you're all empaths. And we pick these things up, we feel it, and we carry it. And what we have to do is take a step back and recognize what belongs to us and what actually belongs to another, and not carry it around for the rest of the day. Sometimes it's a good practice when we're feeling a little bit, edgy, to just consciously think of a golden pyramid surrounding us with wonderful mirrors in it that reflect off all the negative energy that may come our way. So that's quite a good thing to do. Carol, you just want to stay home. So yes, Andrea, it says Andrea instead of Andy. But anyway, hello, Andy, and hello, Andrea. Can I listen? Jim, I could just listen to you, Penny. Works wonders. I think I ought to listen to myself. Then maybe I wouldn't have so many problems sometimes. But we have to get on to Monday, because Monday is a hugely significant day, and it's tomorrow. Tomorrow, be aware. Be mindful of what you say, how you say it, because Mercury, our planet of communication, our planet of, it's kind of duality, isn't it? Because remember, it rules Gemini. So because it rules Gemini, it has this kind of the twin flame, twin soul, twin aspects of itself. And Mercury is like both. Mercury is the messenger of the gods. But is Mercury masculine, or is Mercury feminine? Or is Mercury actually a kind of mixture of the two? Do you see what I mean? So Mercury moves into Aquarius, and not long afterwards will be conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. This has never happened for any of us. It hasn't happened since the 1700s. I mean, I think that's awesome in itself. So what I want to say is, it's about talk, isn't it? It's about communication. And if we look at the other energy we've got tomorrow, we've got the moon is in Sagittarius still, waning crescent. So it's still moving towards its newness. And the sun in Aquarius is sextiling Chiron. Now, Chiron, remember, is this wound we carry around. And yesterday, if I think of the way I felt, and this may resonate with you, the way I felt was that whatever got said to me, or whatever I said back, seemed to find its way into that wound of old that opened up and was kind of gaping with its rawness of pain. And so it felt like reliving again, revisiting, re-experiencing all these painful feelings of lack and loss, and basically almost not being heard. You know how when we're a child sometimes we don't feel heard, we don't feel understood. It doesn't matter what our upbringing was, because even if we've had the most perfect upbringing, which no child has, we will have this experience of not being heard. And I think that's how I felt yesterday, not heard. And then the more stuff that got projected onto me, the more it impacted on me. And that is the sun in Aquarius sextiling Chiron tomorrow. So the sun sextiling Chiron is bringing in some healing, healing, fiery energy to Chiron, because a sextile is a helpful aspect. So because the sun is in Aquarius and it's moving towards its new moon degree, which I think is 20 degrees. There it is. I've got it written down. So because it's moving towards its new moon degree, it is moving away from where Mercury is conjunct Pluto. I think tomorrow, we find our voice. I think almost suddenly we find the words that we need. We find it's not that we go back to any other and go you, or me, or I, or I felt this. It's that finally we realize, aha, it was projection I was on the receiving end of. And it wasn't me per se. And you will understand where this wound is coming from. And because it is open and you're seeing it freshly from the new, for a sort of, again, as almost a gift from the cosmos, it enables you, it empowers you to help heal it. So that, and interestingly, and I will tell you this because you know what I'm like for oversharing and telling stories, but you know I will have a therapist. I've probably told you that before. And I'd had a therapy session with my therapist on Friday, and I duly paid my therapist and online, and my therapist sent a receipt yesterday and said, I just wanted to check in with you as well to see how you are. And I thought, oh, how interesting. He picked up that I was on Friday totally shut down, just going, oh, and isn't it lovely? And this is happening, and this is happening. A chat over the garden fence kind of therapy session. And he said in this email, remember, I am around if you feel you need to have a session before the next one. So, of course, I emailed him straight back and said, yes, please. Because clearly on Friday, I was not being who I am. I was not expressing who I am or what I felt. And so the relief, because it was like he broke through that wound to help some of the pus come out again, so that we arranged, and I'm seeing him tomorrow and I can't wait. So I tell you that story as an example of how these energies work. So tomorrow, I think what we're going to see is actually, on one level, some healing coming through deep transformative discussion with another, whoever that is, because it's Mercury conjunct Pluto. Pluto is about personal empowerment. It's about transformation. It's about the shadow, going down into the depths of one's own personal hell or shadow or unconscious, subconscious. And so with that energy, Mercury conjunct Pluto helps us talk it out and talk it through. Even if we don't actually meet anyone tomorrow that we can talk it through with, You can journal it. You can just write it all down. And that is so cathartic. Also, what is interesting tomorrow is Venus, which remember, apart from representing love and relationship, also represents self-worth. Well, Venus in Capricorn, because it hasn't moved into Aquarius yet, is squaring Chiron in Aries. So I think what Venus is doing in Capricorn, which is about structure, stability, timing, is saying, this is a good time to go deep down. This is a good time to look at what's still in this wound and see if you can promote more healing. So tomorrow, as you can see, is a pretty important day. And I'm just looking at some of the chat, and Janine, you're saying, oh, I'm so sorry, Janine. That is very hard for you to lose a child, to outlive your only child. Oh my God, huge, huge love, support, and condolences to you. I'm sure, Janine, you honor the loss of your child in the way that is right for you. But this, of course, is so pertinent, this kind of energy. And if there is someone that you can connect with to talk about your grief, because this is still an open, raw wound of grief. So I really do honor that with you. And just let me see. Yes, Andy, my heart breaks for Janine too. Yeah, it's just, what can I say? Life is not fair. Okay, so Jen, if you want to write this down, this is actually the quote for the week. And it's actually borrowed from M. Scott Peck, who wrote The Road Less Traveled. So, Jem, you need to write down M. Scott Peck, The Road Well Traveled. Sorry, Less Traveled, The Road Less Traveled. The opening paragraph of this book, he says, life is difficult. This is a great truth. It is the greatest truth. And once we recognize or come to terms with the truth that life is difficult, that very understanding and knowledge and knowing, I'm elaborating a little bit on what he said, means that it ceases to become quite so difficult. So I'll repeat that. Life is difficult. This is a great truth. This is the greatest truth. And the fact that life is difficult ceases to become such a problem once we fully accept and understand that life is difficult. So there's our quote for the week. I hadn't thought of one, and I was trying to think of one before we came on air, but I just couldn't come up with anything. But there you go. I wasn't meant to, and it was meant to be by M. Scott Peck, who was the most amazing psychotherapist author. And his book and books are classics. And if you haven't read The Road Less Traveled, even though it is an extremely old book, it was written like 40 years ago, 50 years ago. It is brilliant, and it still stands the test of time and is brilliant for today. So let's now move on to Tuesday the 6th. It gives us a little bit of a breather. It gives us a chance to catch up, catch our breath, not feel quite so drained by what may unfold on Monday. The moon is still in Sagittarius, but later in the day, it moves into Capricorn. And of course, it's still waning, which means it's reducing, but waning crescent as it moves to not being seen at all before it becomes new. So Tuesday is a good day to just get some jobs done, attend to practical things. Capricorn is about the practical side of life, making sure we've, got the shopping in, got the list done, got everything sorted out, dressed the kids in the right clothes to send them to school or whatever, done their homework for them, and basically just get our life a little bit in order and have a little bit of a breather on Tuesday. Now, by Wednesday, the 7th, the moon is still in Capricorn, waning crescent. And just to remind you all that when the moon is either waxing or waning, it's okay to have surgery. But it's not okay to have surgery on the day of a full moon or a new moon. And also, you don't have an operation on the day that the moon is in the sign that rules the body part you're having surgery on. For instance, Capricorn rules the spine and the skeleton. So clearly, because my surgery is to do with the spine and skeleton, I will not be having surgery when the moon is in Capricorn. In fact, I'm having it just after a full moon, when the moon will be in Libra, and that is in March. Now, coming back to Wednesday, Venus is also in Capricorn still, and Venus actually makes a lovely trine, which is a helpful aspect to Uranus in Taurus. So midweek, we're seeing a soothing of what might be quite dramatic energies on Monday. And also, I meant to talk about what we might hear on the world stage, because there could be quite tough talk, dramatic talk, transformative discussions that emerge tomorrow, Monday. Also, because it's Pluto, sometimes it's about, Pluto rules Scorpio, which can be about secrets. So I think we have to use a lot of discernment on Monday. I've hopped back to Monday. Discernment about what we hear and whether we can what's being, what are the spin doctors spinning? What don't they want us to look at? That is what I'm thinking. That is what I'm feeling. But Venus in Capricorn, trining Uranus in Taurus, I think with regard to the world markets, in terms of stock markets and currencies, we see it balancing out. And that might be quite surprising. There may be some surprising information that comes out that balances things out economically. However, we are reaping what we have sown, but that may be fairly good. But be careful. This is saying beware. Don't get ahead of yourself thinking, oh, my savings look quite good today, Wednesday, because Venus in Capricorn is also squaring, excuse me, the North Node in Aries. Now, what this means, remember, Aries, fire, Aries, cardinal, and Aries with the North Node is about where we are moving towards. It's our destiny. It's the dragon's head. And remember, we've got the Chinese New Year at the end of this week. So we're building up the energy towards pretty intense energy this coming weekend. So Wednesday, with Venus squaring the North Node, we reap what we sow. So my advice would be, from an economic point of view, even if everything looks like plain sailing on Wednesday with savings, pensions, whatever, anything that you're investing in, I'd leave it where it is. Don't suddenly think, oh, I think I'll buy that new sofa, or oh, I think I'll have the kitchen done. No, not a good choice. Not with Venus in Capricorn squaring the North Node. But you will want to, because I think it's something about the energy at the moment is we want to give ourselves something interesting and exciting and new. You know, February is always that, it's like, oh God, it's February. And, you know, I was talking about Carnival at the beginning of this video, because Carnival has come to Gozo. So I'm definitely not going anywhere for about 10 days, because everybody goes around throwing water bombs, bags of flour, God knows what, letting off firecrackers. It can be mayhem. And I certainly haven't got the physical strength at the moment to cope with that, even in the daytime going to a supermarket. So I will be staying put and getting deliveries. So let's move on to Thursday, because Thursday the moon finally moves from Capricorn into Aquarius, but kind of midday, later in the day, for Europe. And so the sun in Aquarius is now, interestingly, sextiling that North Node in Aries. And I do think there will be something about, oh, I want to do something fun. I want to party. I want to relax. I'm fed up with serious, sober January. I'm fed up with February because it's so, you know, oh God, we've got an extra month. I mean, I've got an extra month. Well, it could feel like we've got an extra day this February. And, you know, in the Northern Hemisphere, February is just a cold month, even if it's just kind of symbolically, it's kind of a cold month. So I think this is probably why we have Carnival, to try and brighten up the energy. But I'm just asking you to be mindful of how you spend your money this week. I really do, because Uranus in Taurus is being squared by the sun on Thursday, and there still may be this urge, oh, I'm going to buy whatever it is. I'm going to buy that new car, or, you know, buy that new kitchen, or buy that new house. You just have to really hold in the reins, just pull back a bit and slow down. Now, also, Mars in Capricorn sextiles Neptune in Pisces. This is another reason not to do anything rash financially for the whole week, because actually we've got this energy around really for the whole week, because Mars is, let's get going, action, let's do it, let's really get going. But it's sextiling Neptune, and Neptune is creating illusion and veils and mysteries, and oh yes, we could do this, and you kind of work out how you could make it happen. No, Neptune is about illusion or delusion. You are deluding yourself. So really you have to stand back and really try not to get caught into that energy. So now let's move on to Friday, the 9th, because of course, this is the new moon in Aquarius. And this is a pretty important new moon. Now, my new moon video is already up on my channel. I know a lot of you have already viewed it. And remember, if you want to know which area of your life is being affected by this new moon, all your zodiac signs are time-stamped with my interpretation of how this new moon will affect you. But remember, you need to listen to your rising sign, also known as the ascendant, because the rising sign will give you the area of your life where this new moon in Aquarius is falling. So it's at 20 degrees and 40 minutes. It's in Aquarius. And Aquarius, remember, is very much where the focus of energy is at the moment. Not only is the sun and the moon here, but we've got Mercury, we've got Pluto, and so we have this. So I'm just seeing somebody saying, Penny, it sounds like quite a week before we even get to the new moon. Yeah, I'm afraid it is. It is a bit of a week this week. It's just going to be, I think it's the energy created by carnivals that happen all over the world. And really it's over a period of about 10 days. Venice has their carnival at this time of year. And, you know, you can look on YouTube or Google it, but they are the most amazing events. And if you Google Carnival Gozo, you will see lots of pictures about what happens here, just half a mile up the road from me, and what they get up to. So, yes, it's only just begun. That was a song by the Carpenters. I'm going to break into song, but then I'll get done for copyright. So Friday, we have the new moon in Aquarius. And the new moon in Aquarius is squared by its ruler Uranus in Taurus. So how does this play out? Because Uranus is about the unexpected. It's about change, sudden shocks. It's Taurus. Taurus can be about the economy, but it can also be about the earth. There is something about the energy of this coming week that it's almost as if unconsciously we can feel the tectonic plates of the earth grinding and moving and getting ready to give us a bit of a shake in some part of the world. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that it's a new moon squared by Uranus. Uranus can mean earthquakes, earth movement, volcanic eruptions. It's Taurus, which is an earth sign. It could also be eruptions in the financial sector again. So I'm back to that. So we have that as a potential possibility. And it could also be that this week we see in general things getting very tense, difficult, challenging, and potentially threatening in our troubled areas of the planet. And I'm talking about the places where there is such military tension that we have to be hugely aware of how that's affecting us. And I also want to remind you all about the rebellion that is taking place by many, many, many hundreds and thousands of farmers throughout Europe, in other parts of the world, about the inequality of what supermarkets charge for their produce, and the farmers do not get enough money. Now, and I said this, I think, in my new moon video, but I'm actually going to say it again here because I think it's really important to be mindful of this. You know, the farmers can hold us to ransom, all of us throughout the world. All they have to do is stop delivering food to the supermarkets or to the ferry ports or the shipping ports or the container ports where things are shipped around the world. Do you get my drift? We can survive with water and without food for 10 days, I guess, but without food, ultimately, not very long. And, you know, I'm not suggesting stockpiling, don't misunderstand me, but I think there is an essence of that around in the problem that people are having with looking at what's going on in the world, seeing how it could go the wrong way, and making private, personal plans to prevent or to save themselves in any difficulties. So you'll have to unpack that yourselves, but because I don't want to say too much. Venus in Capricorn is trining Uranus in Taurus that day, which is actually helpful because financially, we're going to end the week on a little bit of a more positive note. So I think also the new moon will bring in a little bit of a release and new opportunities with the problem areas that we're having on the planet. So be aware that it's not all doom and gloom. That is absolutely not what I'm promoting, because it is, remember, a new moon. Now it's Aquarius. So how about your intentions being based on connecting to higher frequencies and energies, allowing yourselves to, well, just be Uranian, be the tomorrow people, be open to your psychic feelings, to your intuition, and write down your feelings and write down your predictions. Let's compare them all. Let's have my predictions for, you know, the month of March, let's say, or for instance, and we'll do a special looking at your predictions, our predictions for the month of March. Just an idea. So oh, how funny, you dreamt it was a carnival. Well, it's because it's the collective unconscious. It's all over the place. But I also want to tell you, before I move on to the Chinese New Year, that from about February the 10th until February the 20th, Chiron, remember our gaping wound that needs healing, is conjunct the North Node in Aries. And so there is something here that needs to be healed on a world level karmically. Now, when I was pre-recording my Uranus video this afternoon, I was reminded that the last time Uranus was in Taurus was when we had the Great Depression at the end of the 1930s and the start of World War II. So there is something here with this karmic energy about we need to heal the past. We don't have to go down the same paths. We don't have to make the same mistakes that the planet and the collective have made in the past. Aquarius is about the community at large. It's about us. It's about all of you. We have the ability through any of you that are attuned to Reiki, through any type of distant healing, to heal the wounds the planet has, the wounds from the past of war, of famine, of disaster. We need to find different ways to get through these current issues, which are pointing us down a very unpleasant looking path. It needs to change. Yes, Shirley, positive healing and sending out healing and love and light. And I know that can sound a bit contrite. And I'm really aware that, you know, it's not about not being grounded, but, you know, remember to protect yourselves psychically and from the psychic energies that are around at the moment. There's a lot of the collective consciousness and unconscious that is quite challenging, difficult. It's full of fear. It's full of doom and gloom. Think of that pyramid with the mirrors on that just reflects all that negative energy back where it came from, back down to hell. And it can go there and stay there. Send positive healing energy to the planet. Send it to each other. Send it to the future. Remember, we can intend, if you are a Reiki practitioner or a Reiki master, I'm a Reiki master trainer, like I'm sure a lot of you are, we know we can send Reiki to the future. We can send it to future events. We can send it out tonight to the whole week, that the week unfolds for the highest good of us and for the highest good of everyone else. That is what we can do. That is what we can intend. Now, if we come to Saturday the 10th, the moon, of course, is in Aquarius, and then it moves quite quickly into Pisces, my oceans of emotions. So it's now waxing crescent, because remember, it's moving towards its full moon in Virgo on the 25th. And on Saturday, we have the Chinese New Year, because it always coincides with a new moon. The new moon, the first new moon of the season of their lunar calendar. It's the year of the wood dragon. So let's just think about these elements and these qualities. Dragons represent the north and the south node. The dragon's head is the north node, so our destiny, where we are destined to go as a collective. The dragon's tail is what we bring with us, what we have learned from our past, and that includes our past lives, but also what we've learned in this life. And it's wood, it's the element of wood. I would see wood being partly Capricorn in its kind of astrological energy. And I don't know anything about this, and I haven't looked it up, so I have no idea. I'm just guessing. But I would also see it being part of Taurus, because Taurus is about earth and growing and trees and green and leaves and all of that kind of energy. So I think the wood dragon brings in earthy energy and an opportunity for quite dramatic growth. Remember, dragons are kind of mystical creatures. They are creatures that we just don't really know whether they're mythical or whether they were ever real. We know there are some lizards in certain parts of the country and reptiles that resemble dragons, but do we have any literal fire-eating dragons? I'd love to think we do, or that we did. Because where did the stories come from? Where did they emerge? We'll have to look at that sometime during this wood dragon year, this Chinese year of the wood dragon. And Mercury in Aquarius on Saturday squares Jupiter in Taurus. So watch what you say, because it could get out of perspective, out of control, and it could get potentially a little bit kind of too stubborn, like, well, I know I'm right. And I'm right, and so's my friend, and everybody's right. When actually, you're not at all. You just want to prove that you're right, even if you know you're wrong. And some people will go to any lengths to prove their rightness, even though they're wrong, because they cannot bear to not be right. But let's bring this weekly forecast to a close now. Let me have a quick look at the chat. And Minnesota, we've got loads of Brazil, we've got, wow, Neil's in Brazil. And this is, listen, you know, I always say it, you're all friggin' awesome. Yes, so why didn't some of the dinosaurs hang on? Maybe some of them were fire breathing. How do we know? Maybe they were. And maybe that's where it came from. But, you know, I like to think sometimes that there is truth in all myth. And it's an interesting thought. Listen, just to remind you all that I obviously get a lot of emails, and I do try and give attention to everything. And please excuse me if I ever overlook anything. And you're always welcome to email me again and say, did you see the email I sent you? And I will do my best to always be here for you in the way that I've promised. Also, I just want to remind you about my website, pennydix.com. It's changing, it's upgrading, it's becoming new and shiny and sparkly. And also, I want to remind you that bookings now are only from June, because I am going in for surgery in March. So I'm not taking any more clients before I go for surgery, because I need to prepare myself. I also need to pre-record quite a few videos so that there's something that's ongoing through the time that I will not be around. So let's see. Yes, love to you all, and love to the Soul Fam. Jem, just remember that little quote was, and I've forgotten already, but Jem, I know you know what it is. Life is difficult. It's a great truth. And the fact that life is difficult ceases to become such a problem once we fully accept that life is difficult. And on that note, I'm going to let you all go and have a wonderful Sunday. Or some of you, like me, might be ready for bed because it's evening and it's coming up to 7 o'clock. Quick supper, early night. That's my plan. Listen, guys, thank you so much for coming. And please remember to like and subscribe. I will be back next Sunday for yet another live week ahead. And the Uranus video will be out round about the 18th. But remember, we do have a new moon on Friday, but I'm not doing any lives for any of the full or new moons at the moment. So that's the plan. So there we go. Namaste. and namaste to all of you. And do you know, I always find it so hard to switch off because I just love talking to you. Oh, Sunshell, thank you. Oh, bless you all. Oh, thank you, Kylie. Oh, you are sweet. Yes, I thought the matching glasses. I actually wore this to do the Uranus video, but I put different glasses on. Then I thought I'll just change my glasses for this video. And hi, Cosmic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. And on that note, I will end stream. At least we're under the hour, under the peak loss of attention time. And I'll see you all very soon. Love you all loads. Bye for now. Bye.